Last week we talked about lighting. Some area facing to the light appear to be lighter, even the same color of surface. What is the best way to describe the surface here? And we're going to talk about cross-contour drawing. From composition, for example, I'm going to mark it, maybe the top over here, maybe the bottom over here. And let's take a look. And then the handle could be over here. And I draw with the short straight line like this. And also we include the catch the shadow. And looks like I can come down a little bit and come up a little bit. And this could be come a little bit more to the right. So if you need to rewind to the previous lesson, demonstration, I talk about the measurement. I talk about measurement a lot, either in the simple object drawing, still life, or draw a human, like a portrait. The proportion are very important. That's why you have to spend lots of time in the measuring. But however, after you're doing this for a while, you don't have to keep doing this all the time. You can do that really quick by focus on that two areas. Okay, now I come back over here. Now I kind of do that measurement with my mind. When I look at here, I look at how to connect with this line. All the technique we already covered in the previous videos. If you need to, just go back there and just do them practice. Okay, now I'm going to draw the areas of the shadow side really quickly. Get in here. Also, squint your eye would make things easier because that helps you to focus. Okay. Now really come to the part. When I look at here, I quickly compare with that. So I have this object already outlined, and I draw the shape really quickly. I draw the bottom of the background like this. So what I'm going to do next, I can really quickly to make the background to be a little bit darker. Charcoal pencil. So I use the line, the straight line. I can do that for the background. This is part of the cross contour already. I'm using the straight line up and down. It's just to suggest the surface is straight, it's flat. Can you imagine if I'm going to draw it like this? The surface is like this, wavy kind of form. They are straight, they're flat, right? Now coming down over here. Now, how I'm going to use the direction of line to suggest inside this object. I know in over here, like see this area should be a little bit darker. Let's focus on this. How that would be look like. Let's think about how the surface turning. How that surface would be if I'm going to draw like this. Yeah, it will work. It's just for the purpose of shading into that. But we're going to focus on how can we maximize the suggestions. How can we do that? We can, because I just touched the surface, I can actually draw the line. And here a little bit darker, so I draw a few more lines. And coming through into this side, and keep moving like this. But when it come down to in here, do you see the movement with my suggestions? Yeah, there is actually a better suggestions on that. Now over here, now let's touch it. It actually curved like this. It's rounded. So in this case, I'm going to draw it this way. One direction. But what about in this area? It's difficult to draw it like that. But we can draw the movement from the top coming down. What's the movement would be? It's coming down like this. Look, it's coming over here and moving down and directly coming down over here. That's another movement, a different angle of movement. That's a one direction of movement. Now I'm going to coming back over here. Like this. But imagine if you do this, look like this. And that surface would be suggesting like that, right? So we'll be a little careful about what's the best way to describe the surface movement. And over here too, you can draw it like this, following this direction of movement, like this, coming over here. And over here, you can draw it like that. Instead of only use the straight line, okay, coming down over here, now we can see in this area, it is also the part of the shadow side. How can we draw it? We can do it on this direction, like that. But over here, we can also do it in this angle, coming like this. You almost can imagine if you're using a very sharp laser knife to cut through all this, and there will be, you can see all the line like that with all the layers, right? From the left to the right, and describe how the surface move. But one direction may not enough. We can use a different direction. But imagine if you cut through the object vertically, like this. You can see all the straight line because this is straight, right? So if the object is cut through over here, for example, this area, the dividing line, it will be not straight. It will be look like this, coming down over here, curve a little bit, and then straight. Coming down here, curve a little bit, and straight. If I'm going to use the straight line, there's a little curve first, and then coming down here, and straight. Straight. And a little curve coming over here. What's the best way to describe the surface movement? Okay, over here we can do that. That is the movement from here in this area. Like that. And I will come down over here. A little bit lighter and lighter. That. Now let's shape the bottom. It going from the left to the right. There's a little bit depth, little shape over here. And also moving from the left to the right with the curve movement. Now coming, take a look at the outline. Like that. Now here we go. Now we come to the table. How are we going to draw a table? This is the shape of the table. Be a little careful. If you draw the table, fill in the value, make it look like this. Can you imagine? That's how it would feel. And actually, it's not flat. It's wavy and moving like a wave. So be a little careful about your every pencil line, right? So what we're going to do, we're going to use this straight line. Now there's no confusion. The table is flat, like that. And on the over here too, we can use this straight line. But some area could be darker, some area could be lighter. But the movement of the line is suggesting the surface movement. Now the outside a little bit darker, I'm going to use a different direction. Like that. That's good. Now we're going to change it to this side. Okay, let's see. What about here? Like this. What about here? And the same thing. You draw it, see how the movement work. The moving this direction. If in one direction the line is not good enough, and then you can think about what about the movement from here to there. So the movement inside this area like this. Okay, coming over here and moving to here. So like that. And then the line gradually fade out. And what about here? Here a little bit lighter, but still have the movement coming down like this. What about the edge over here? The edge over here should be also a little bit darker. So use a light line, but the movement of the line also suggesting the movement of the surface in this direction. And what about here? A little bit have a little light value and also moving this direction. Okay, almost there. Now we can come in to do a little cleanup and clarification. I can make a shade a little. I want to remove the little white gap in between, so shade it a little like this, right? Shade it a little. But if you see the line still suggesting the movement. And now I'm going to see the top over here has a little darker line as the paint. Okay, let's see. On this side, like that. Coming to this side, like this on the top. I'm going to leave a little highlight over here, right? And then come in like this. Right? I'm going to use the eraser to clean up a little bit of those values. Should be a little lighter, like that. Okay, make that a little softer over here. Now I can see a little reflected light on the top over there. So use the eraser to make that a little bit lighter. The movement of the eraser, you can do that also to suggesting the movement of that because you are drawing the light line, like that. And now come down over here, have a little reflected light to the other side, to the table, and you can draw it, the light line. Also the same movement as the surface moving. Okay. And a little reflected light over here too, to the table, like that. Okay. Now I have because it's China ware, and I have a very sharp dividing of the based on the reaction to the light, and actually here a little bit darker, but the movement of the line again, it suggesting the surface. Okay, now I come in here. Now working into a little bit more detail. Now here you go, like that. And I can see a little lighter surface over here and going through. That's good. Now have a little bit ring visible. Now working a little bit smaller and smaller details, and a little bit also they're coming in a little and suggesting a little bit of this movement too, like that. Okay, almost. Give it a couple minutes. Okay, now give a little clarification of the details. Okay, now the edge look like that. Now I'm gonna do a little cleanup at the bottom over here. Remove some of the value. It's showing that. Okay, now I want to make the outside a little bit darker to suggest the catch the shadow onto the wall and the bottom over here, and also use a straight line for this area like that. And here now I'm going to use different angle, but make sure it's a straight line. There is different angle. Okay, like that. And I can see a little reflection because of the handle onto this surface of the side of the picture. And I'm going to draw a little light over there like that, and a little highlight right here. And if you want to work a little more into the background, you can shade it a little bit darker. And every line over here, it actually telling you additional information. For example, like say if there is some defect over here, this area, and I can see a little bit line going through over here like this, and I was telling you do you see the surface? You can describe just with the line, even the same value. But you use the line, the movement of the line, it actually suggesting the surface of the object. There's no questions? And it will be your turn.